What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee.
What's good, Greg?
I love the cat collar. You know this about me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I haven't worn it for a while. So it was sitting in my closet all lonely, and I was like, today's the day.
Yeah, because you got some strong opinions about Destiny 2 to go through.
I have some boiling feelings
We will
inside.
get to that real quick, but first... This is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Write in to kindafunny.com/KFGD. Then tune in live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We see if we read your question. If you're watching live, you have a special job. You need to go to kindafunny.com/you're-wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you. Right now, the final MCU in review before Infinity War, that's right, Thor Ragnarok, is up. Of course, we will have another MCU in review for Infinity War Thursday night after we all go and see it. By the end of today, right, Kevin? The Kinda Funny spoiler cast for God of War will be live with Corey Barlog, myself, Tim, and Andy. That will be going up as a Gamescast special on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and podcast services around the globe. Do not listen unless you've beaten God of War. You've been warned. Remember, if you're going to kindafunny.com/store, we aren't really sold out of everything. The merchandise is moving to another warehouse. Click the You Want It button so that when everything's back up and running, they can give you what you want. And then know that today we're brought to you by Marvel Puzzle Quest and MeUndies, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. It's a frantic Roper Report.
Sorry, the sound came out wrong, and then
it's fine. No, Kev, it's jazz, man. Let it flow. You know. Number one on the Roper Report. Bungie.
Stories?
What?
How many stories were there?
Thank you very much. There are 3 items.
A baker's dozen!
Thank you for keeping me honest, Kevin.
I like how he closes his eyes when he says it to really get the gumption behind it.
He reminds me a lot of like, and this is as a real thing. It's the gumption, and then just like think of like a kid in 2nd grade doing the play, and they're like afraid, so they're so excited, they're just like there with all. Kevin's always got that grin. Kevin the glue keeps everything running. Round of applause for Kevin. We don't clap enough for him and his beanies. Number 1, Bungie has revealed Destiny 2's Warmind expansion details. Now, here's what I want you to know. I'm doing the spoiler cast with Corey Barlog. I come off of the spoiler cast. I open up the doc. You've already created it because you're Andrea Renee, busiest lady in the business, the best, some would say. And you've already started listing out this item for the Roper Report. And I'm like, oh, good. I get to read and see what happened. And then I start seeing there's a lot of editorializing here. So I feel like I'm just going to step back and let you do with what item 1 what you want to do. Tell me, and everyone listening, what is going on with Warmind expansion for Destiny 2?
So Bungie had their live stream this morning explaining the details around the new expansion, which is out on May 8th. Deej said that several times in case you forgot.
May 8th, everybody.
It's out in May. They did mention and bring on some team members from Vicarious Visions. Said that they are helping Bungie to work on some stuff, which is great. Obviously, they have a fantastic team over there. They're part of the Activision stable of developers, so not really shocking. So that was cool. And then the parade of developers started. So different people from the design team, game directors, a bunch of other people on the team came in to talk about the details. So there will be probably some light spoilers. If you want to go in like 100% blind, then you maybe don't want to, you maybe want to fast forward like 10 minutes into the show. But I mean, basically, I'm not spoiling anything that they didn't say on the live stream.
I don't know. Yeah, I hear you.
But Deej made a thing about it during the stream to say like, hey, if you don't want to know any of these details, then stop watching.
Gotcha.
So just doing you guys a courtesy in case you are like, oh, I can't believe she said that it's going back to Mars. Because it's fucking going back to Mars. This is not a new destination. They promised new destinations. They promised new enemies. They promised new activities and new weapons. And we got a little bit of that.
Okay, but not enough.
A little bit. For how much they're charging for this expansion?
How much
Hell
they charging?
No. It's like $39.99.
Okay.
Let me double check.
I
don't want to. You're wrong on this. Let me look this up.
I'm scared of you to begin with, let alone now you're all mad.
So I was in a conflicted place this morning, Greg.
Lay it on me.
Last time we talked about this, when they revealed that they were going to have a reveal, I was like, that's a thing now that people do.
That's true. That is how it works.
And Nintendo tells you, gives an announcement about when their direct is coming.
Sure.
I said, I love Destiny. That hasn't changed. but that I've been disappointed. That Bungie has kind of let me down. And I'm not alone. Lots of Destiny creators out there, streamers, fans, all feel kind of the same way. They're like, hey, this is great, but it has potential to be so much better. Please don't make it not live up to its potential.
Sure.
And watching the stream this morning, I kind of knew going in that like my expectations were not going to be met. I'd already set the bar low because they haven't proven to me over the last 6 months that they are going to meet my expectations.
Have they not? Because this is the thing of, obviously, you're the hardest of hardcore Destiny players. You're super involved. You're super in there. You love Destiny 1. If you're a new listener, I lapsed on Destiny 1, didn't get far. Platinum Destiny 2 and had a great time. But when that first expansion dropped, people were already up in arms and mad about how Destiny 2 was being run. I played a little bit of it and I was like, oh, whatever, okay, and fell off. And I wasn't mad at it because I don't have that connection to it. But the community seemed so angry with it that it forced Bungie's hand, right? That shortly thereafter they had a giant like mea culpa, right, where they came out and like, here's what we're doing over the next bunch of months. Here's how we're changing progression and doing all. We hear you. We will make it more like Destiny 1.
Lip service.
Oh God.
So to correct myself, if you just buy the Warmind expansion, $24.99.
Okay.
If you buy the expansion pass, $34.99.
Okay.
So no need to you're wrong that. But please do go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong for things we do get factually incorrect. So after seeing what they did with Destiny 2 as a whole, like my anticipation for what new enemies meant dropped. And Steimer and I talked about it on What's Good a couple weeks ago.
What's that? Where was that?
At What's Good Games.
Where can I get that?
You can get that on podcast services or at youtube.com/What's Good Games.
Oh man, it seems like a great show that would come out every Friday.
You know, it does.
Oh, wow.
8 a.m. Pacific time every Friday. Wouldn't you know? Thank you, sir. So she was holding out hope, which is against type for her because she's known as the salty one in our show. And I was like, nah, it's gonna be probably the Vex because I said, so help me fucking God, if they bring the Hive back, I'm going to scream. And I'm going to protect your ears and not screaming in the microphone, but oh my God, they fucking brought the Hive back. Frozen Hive.
Oh, so it's totally
They have
different.
ice on top of them
it's different.
because they're in the polar ice caps of Mars, which by the way, looks like Mars.
Huh, okay.
Technically, is this a new destination? Yes. Technically, are these new enemies? No, I'm not giving you that one. They're not new enemies.
There's only so many planets in the solar system.
True, but there's planets that we haven't been to yet.
No.
There's moons. There's other galaxies we could go to.
Sure.
There's other solar systems within this galaxy we could go to.
Sure.
I mean, there's a whole planet Earth that we could go to.
It's all bad though. It's just rusted out cars. We've been there. We see it.
I mean,
I've been to the European zone. I know what's up.
So let me set the stage. Let's talk about what it is. So it's on a Helios base, polar ice caps. The polar ice caps are receding, showing off this time capsule that's underneath. They don't say why they're receding. They do need to leave some story bits a surprise, right? So of course, as these polar ice caps are receding, the Hive are coming out of the woodwork, and Rasputin, who is the Warmind, has awoken, and like we get to know about a little bit more of his backstory and how he was built, because his birthplace is obviously Mars, and it sets off a chain of events throughout the solar system that Rasputin has woken up. And we meet a new Guardian. Her name is Anna Bray. They show a little prologue scene with her. She looks pretty cool. She says, Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past, but I'm going to go do it anyway.
Yeah.
So a little interesting piece of lore. Gonna see where that goes. So they've added some new things. Obviously, a little bit of story that you're going to have to complete in order to unlock some of these new items. For example, the big thing that they were showing off today was a new game mode called Escalation Protocol. Okay. Sounds cool, right?
Yeah, that's a good name. Yeah, it sounds like something.
It's essentially a public event that you can play over and over again, and you don't have to wait for it to be timed.
Oh, okay.
So you basically go and trigger it in the world,
okay,
and then it sends waves of enemies. So essentially, it's a horde mode combined with a public event.
People love horde modes.
You know, they do. And I actually like horde mode. But their big thing that they were talking about on the stream was the Destiny community has said that Destiny is not hard enough. So we need to make Destiny harder. So we made it harder. And to me, when I say Destiny isn't hard enough, I think more creatively than just throwing more enemies at an encounter, or giving enemies higher health bars to mean that I have to just essentially spew more bullets. When I was watching it this morning, I said they just made the bullet sponge a bigger sponge. To me, that doesn't feel super rewarding.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
No, I mean, nothing you're saying right now is making me want to actually try this.
Yeah,
And granted, you're a ball of rage about it, so maybe that's it.
I think the fact that they brought the fucking hive back, I'm going to say it again because I'm so mad about it. Maybe because I hate the hive.
Okay.
But like, really, you're going to recycle another thing yet again?
Which has been one of the big critiques of this game.
Yeah, that there was no new enemy faction.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a sequel. Big, giant fucking number 2, said Luke Smith on stage. And then we already criticized them when the game launched that there was no new faction. And I thought I had my hopes high for second expansion number 2. But it wasn't there. So essentially, Escalation Protocol is wave-based with bosses. There are 5 different final bosses. Week over week, there will be a different boss. And so when it resets, the next week there'll be a new boss. So once you've played for 5 weeks, you've played all 5 bosses. But each boss drops unique rewards.
Okay.
And I put unique
Why are you
in air
using
quotes. And I wrote down in all caps in the show notes, I don't think they know what the word unique means. They clearly didn't want to show off all of the new guns because they want to leave some for discovery. So we'll have to, I guess, wait and see if these truly are unique and what that means. But, you know, talking about getting emblems as like rewards for endgame content, I'm kind of like, what? Who wants an emblem for like all of this endgame content?
Right.
And so they even made a joke about it. They're like, oh, we need to get, people were asking for tangible rewards. And so, you know, you're going to get it. We want to make that one gun the thing that people chase each season. So they've designed this specialty gun that everyone's going to want. And actually, like, sounds like it'd be really cool, particularly in Crucible. So like silver lining here is that they have a perk on the gun. So if you guys have been playing regularly, you know that they've recently buffed pulse rifles, which is great for PvP. But what it also means is that it's going to make things a little off balance because some members of the community have said that there haven't been what Bungie described as rough edges, meaning there hasn't been like a Thorn, for example, or like the overpowered Galahorns, or not a single gun that like was really fun to play, but also kind of like was kind of bullshit because the people who didn't have it were like getting crushed and the people who had it were just like raining terror down. Yeah. And so they want to bring that back because they feel like it's gotten a little too vanilla.
Okay. Does that excite you?
I mean, kind of. Yeah. But also no, because what if I don't get that gun?
Yeah.
Because of the way the Bungie's in-game economy works, it's all fucking RNG. Right? So like, I don't know. I'm going to have to go grind these events to go get these guns. But they say they wanted to give endgame players something to chase. I think that's good. I think that they're catering to endgame players is good. I mean, it was clear from this live stream that they have made the decision to only cater to the most hardcore Destiny players.
Interesting.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet if it's the right choice, really narrowing your audience that way.
Well, they had to choose something, right?
Because
I feel like they went too wide before, where it was, hey, guy Greg, who was vaguely interested in Destiny 1 but got turned off to it. Here's a very approachable, very doable, very beatable Destiny 2 that I beat and platinumed and moved on and never thought to come back to. But for a games as a service, they need to have something and some reason to bring people back and have a community there. Because like, are your old Destiny pals playing it like they were Destiny 1?
No.
Yeah, right?
Nobody that I played Destiny with is playing Destiny right now.
Yeah.
Like literally zero.
I mean, when Destiny 1 was out, and even when it was vanilla before the Giant expansion, right? It was still that I saw Adam Boyes on there every night playing it. Mm-hmm. Saw you on there every night playing it.
The only person on my friends list that is on Destiny on the regular is Destin.
Oh, Destin Legary.
Yeah, from
it's
IGN.
in his name. He's got to. I mean, when he sold naming rights to himself to Activision, weird that he can still work at IGN like that.
I know,
all jokes.
right?
He did not sell his name to Activision.
So just to like kind of go back to a couple of my notes here, because the thing that I found hilarious throughout the stream was that they kind of were poking fun at themselves and acknowledging their mistakes or their missteps. Like when they introduced the new location, air quotes.
More air quotes. Yeah.
He even said, we're going back to Mars. That's what he said first. And like, I think like in my mind when I hear like back to Mars, of course, you know, I think Total Recall.
Right.
But like the idea that you have to say we're going back to Mars is like, why are you going back to this place that we've already been and we've spent so much time at, you know, as a player base. And then they brought back the sword, the Hive sword from Destiny 1. They said this is the exact same sword from Destiny 1.
Great.
Cool. Glad to know you guys are really digging deep in the creative vault over there. And then they brought in this item called the Valkyrie, which is a new unique weapon for the Warmind expansion that essentially looks like a reskinned hammer from the Rise of Iron. So it's like a limited use item that you pick up and then you kind of just spam it over and over again, and then it disappears.
Okay.
So it's like super powerful for a very short amount of time, and then poof, it's gone.
Gotcha.
Like the design of it looks cool, but the mechanics look identical. Okay. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then they finally showed off the emote wheel, which has like been something that people have been asking for a long time, that I made a joke about when they announced the features. And they showed it with a bunch of green emotes, and Deej made a comment about, oh, we got to get rid of those green ones and get you some good emotes. And the first thing I thought of is, why did you make shitty emotes? Why is that even a thing that's in the game, that you make something that you want people to discard? Like,
you want it to be cool enough that they equipped it, but you want them to go want the ramen
You're
emote.
using some animator and some artist's time to create something that's intended to be disposable. The concept of that is really kind of like, the paradox of that is like, why would you do that? And I understand in any kind of RPG with a grind system, you have to start the gear low, but Destiny has this problem where you're constantly rotating your inventory in and out in a way that, like, there's all of these guns and armor pieces that are really worthless. And it's just kind of like, why are they there if they're really only part of my gameplay loop for like 20 to 30 minutes? Yeah. Was that worth the production cost in order to make that? And like, for the base game, I can understand the argument behind why those need to exist for the progression of the campaign, and even maybe the progression in PvP. But when you're putting on an expansion that is clearly designed for high level play, for people who have sunk in the time and the money to get to Warmind, why are you wasting your time making green emotes?
So these are new emotes for Warmind?
Supposedly,
okay.
yes.
Then yes, now I'm more in your boat of like, okay, that's stupid.
They didn't go through all of the ones in the list, so I mean, this is a you're wrong too. If you're like a diehard emote person, you have them all and you know. Let me know if I'm wrong on this one, because I honestly don't know if all of the ones they showed were new or not. But I just it came to my mind that I was like, but why? If you have to make a joke about how his emotes are bad, then why are you even making them if you don't think that they're good? Yeah. And honestly, creative expression in games and character customization is clearly a subjective choice, but we all know that the purple ones and the yellow ones are better, obviously.
Obviously, they're purple and yellow.
Yeah.
Duh.
So, Crucible, the last part of what they showed today. Now, this is really where I think the positivity is and the shine is, where they are taking some feedback from the community and really making something that's going to cater to people who have sunk a lot of time in. So they have two new ranking systems. They have Valor, which is in regular PvP, and then they have Glory rank, which is in competitive only. So Glory rank, it kind of feels like it works like ELO in the sense that your ranks will have streak bonuses. You can get win streaks and you can get loss streaks. So obviously win will have rewards and losses will have penalties. And that's just in competitive play. And they have added an uncapped prestige system with rewards. And that's where the one gun that you can chase kind of comes in Crucible. So I think this is a positive, good thing that they're doing, is giving people who love to play a lot of PvP a reason and a progression-based system, something to chase, something to keep them coming back instead of just the joy of the game. It's like, hey, no, if you keep coming back, you can keep, essentially prestiging over and over again, and then your rank can be on your banner or your emblem, and then people can see, oh my gosh, they've prestiged 100 times or whatever. Like a lot of other competitive FPS that's out there. So, yeah.
So you're not happy. What is the feedback you're seeing from other Destiny diehards?
Well, there's a lot of Destiny community event reactions available on YouTube from people who make a lot of Destiny content. One of the creators that I watch and really like is Dado. Dado does Destiny. He put out a long form video, and IGN's Fireteam chat also commented on what Dado said as well. But the consensus that I'm getting from the people that I've watched is that Bungie is listening and they're taking our feedback into account, but you're not going to see it in Warmind. None of the feedback that the community has given to Bungie is going to be present in Warmind. So
this was all in play before the giant mea culpa and everything else.
So this is done. What's done is done. This is coming out as is. And you kind of got to just eat it or walk away. Or you do what I'm probably going to do, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and you play it and hope against hope that maybe something changes in the fall.
Is that when the next do we have a date for expansion 3?
No, but I mean,
Okay.
we have to assume that it'll be in the fall around the same time that Taken King came out last year. But
Rice Guard writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can. Hey, cool, Greg. Good to see you over there at the chair. Rice Guard says, with Destiny stream today, I've got a quick question about the future of D2. Destiny 1 was really able to bounce back thanks to the Taken King expansion, which came out a year after its release. D2 has been shrouded in complaints due to the missing content and changes made to Crucible. With how packed this September already is, Spider-Man, Tomb Raider, Spyro, and Dragon Quest, to name a few, parentheses, yes, I know they're all completely different styles of game, in parentheses. If D2 is planning a big expansion 1 year from its release, will it actually have an impact, and will anyone actually care? Thanks for all you do, Rice Guard. Is it too late for Destiny 2?
for players like you, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
For players like Fran, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Fran's just always there.
Right, but there's a surprising amount of people who are like Fran.
Good, and I'm not
right?
trying to take away their fun.
Right, but the thing that's frustrating to me as someone who's between you and Fran
Sure.
is that I see the amazing high points of this game, and that's why the low points make me so angry, because if it wasn't so good over here, I wouldn't care that it sucks over here.
Sure.
I would just be like, I'm
It's
done.
never- yeah,
Just
it's
assume
never
there's
good.
a lot of games to play.
Yeah.
I would be moving on.
Yeah.
But like, I want to go back and play more Destiny. But like every time I boot it up, I talked about this when we were talking about the announcement about the Crimson Days
Sure.
and how I like booted up excited to actually play it for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And then all of the frustrations of the pain points and the quality of life things that I hoped they were going to fix come crashing down on me. And I'm like, and now listen, am I being dramatic? Yes. Are there people out there listening being like, oh, you're just like nitpicking and complaining? Yeah, I am. But this is how I feel.
But I mean, like, I think that for those people, I would assume they're more in my boat, right? Where I played, I was like, oh, it was fun, see ya. And I didn't think, I'm not gonna have this like analysis of it. It's similar to when I had like a fucking mental breakdown when they changed Cole's design for Infamous 2. Like, you're a real hardcore fan, and like that, the nitpicky stuff is what matters to you guys the most.
Well, and when I see somebody like Dado who plays, like 100 times more Destiny than I do.
Sure.
Frustrated and upset about a lot of the same things. I'm like, if the hardest of the hardcore Destiny people are like, WTF?
Yeah.
Like, how does Bungie just go, we're doing what we're doing and sorry.
And that's the thing that's
I don't
interesting to me
understand.
about this expansion 2 announcement, right? Is the how rough it seems to have been from the launch of Destiny 2 to now. I feel like, I don't know, and I guess I know that there's millions of dollars in play and there's deadlines and yada yada. I just feel like we wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to be like, cool, we hear you and we're working on all that, but this is what we have now.
Yeah.
But I don't make video games, and I don't truly understand the amount of time, work, and love that goes into making something that you need to put out or want to put out and keeping on a deadline, and what your expansion number 2 is, knowing what expansion number 3 is.
That's fair, but I'm going to make a big but and a caveat here. This isn't just some ordinary developer working on a regular timeline. This is an Activision-funded developer who has access to crazy amounts of resources.
Sure.
So the standard for them is higher, in my mind, that Activision has billions of dollars between Call of Duty and Destiny. Like, how do you not have the resources to make it right? Mm-hmm. Apparently, some of these community creators got answers to questions like this, but they're not allowed to talk about them. So, at least that's what Dado said, is that he asked all these questions and he got answers, but he's not allowed to say what the answers were.
Is he embargoed, or you just can't talk about it?
It was unclear.
They just answered off the record.
I should reach out to him and ask. Kevin. Oh, cool Greg. You guys swapped out. Would you mind opening the windows? I have like sweat behind my knees. It's so hot in here.
You're very angry, and that's not helping your heart rate whatsoever.
Thanks, cool Greg. Anyway. Yes.
I'd like to involve another question here. It'll be calming for you.
Okay,
but it's
good.
piggybacking off something you just said, maybe kind of. Zach writes in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, Greg and Andrea, do I have a question for you two? You've both recently went to go hands-on with State of Decay 2, and all you can say about it is, quote, we can talk about it soon. Tim says he gets to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but can't say when, where, or why. I'm assuming his impressions can only be heard if you're willing to be locked in a secure location. My question is, what's the point of having an event and not being able to say anything about it? Do they want press people to brush up on their note-taking skills, or they developers want to test your memories.
One second, good. Kevin, I specifically asked him to open that because I'm dying of heat.
Well, I'm gonna open the door.
Okay. Okay.
Who cares about the light thing? They're always so worried about this video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not over here trying to make a major motion picture. We can have a light thing on her. Here's what. Open it up and let me see the light thing. Oh, there on the corner of the screen? Yeah. Close it and show the audience again. So this is what it looks like closed. Now open it up.
There's a difference.
That's
It's
what it looks
really
like.
just a reflection on the monitor in front of the desk.
It is.
Well, I like pointing it out to the kids.
Also, this is gonna be more air.
Here's what I want you to do. Here, I agree and I love you and I respect you. And you're, again, the glue that holds it all together. I want you to stop taking the show so seriously. I'd like you to come give me a little bit of a back rub while I finish this question. And that'll set the tone for the kind of show we're making over here, all right? What'd you say?
Zipper up.
Zipper up. All right, so here we go. Back to Zach. Oh my gosh, you got magic fingers. My question is, what's the point of having an event and not being able to say anything about it? Do they want press people to brush up on their note-taking skills or yada, yada, yada? Or is this like test screening like they do for movies? This doesn't really make sense to me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Love the work you guys do here and on What's Good Games. Looking forward to the God of War spoiler cast coming out today. Zach?
You know, we've talked about embargoes on the show before, but the reason why they exist is because they generally do multiple showings of the embargoed content to press in different areas of the world.
Yeah.
So, for example, you know, State of Decay 2, they're not just showing it to people in the United States, they're showing it to people in Europe as well. So in order to be able to show secret things and give everyone access to put their coverage out at the same time so one territory doesn't have an advantage over another, we have to keep it quiet until a specific date at a specific time, which is when you see things go live at weird times like 12:01 a.m. Pacific time.
Right. And it's to your point, everything you just said, and then, yeah, it's the PR people playing the game of where can we put this information out to have the biggest impact and not get stepped on by the continued success of God of War or some other announce or other review embargo or something to that effect. So yeah, you know that we've played State of Decay. You know that Tim's eventually going to see Kingdom Hearts. You're going to hear about that. That's not, I don't know exactly the Dado stuff, maybe of what he's hearing, and if that's off the record, which is a completely different story, usually over drinks, and I never even mentioned that I know something off the record once I know something off the record.
I mean, there does come a time where I had been at press events before where they've shown me something in a presentation and then said, this is not off the record, or this is off the record.
Yeah.
So there's also a difference between off the record and on background, which is something that is very muddled in the world of video game journalism, because video game journalism is filled with people who don't actually have a journalism background.
Sure.
Which is not a bad thing necessarily, because I think having a passion is super important for this job, and having knowledge of the content is very important, but it's also good to know basic like AP style guides.
Sure.
Which is like, you know, as journalism geeks, we know. But do you still have your AP style book?
Of course, I still have that in my college dictionary.
So good.
All falling apart at the spine.
But yeah, so that's why we can't talk about it. I would imagine that most of the PR people would prefer we don't talk about that. We know about it at all. But us being, you know, the social media savants that we are, want to be out on social media telling you guys on our Instagram stories and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And so we ask, hey, can we talk about this? And they want to say no. And sometimes they do say no.
And then you get this preliminary, you get the embargo to the embargo, similar to the announcement to the announcement.
Right.
Or the reveal of the reveal. Of, yeah, okay, if you can talk about it, that you're seeing State of Decay today, but you can't talk about when they're talking about it or what the game is. You're like, all right, whatever. And so you just know that we know about State of Decay, and one day Tim will know about Kingdom Hearts and all sorts of stuff like that. Just the way the industry moves, brother.
It frustrates you as much as it frustrates us, don't worry.
Kevin's complaining he's cold now, you sure?
You have a freshly washed Amazon hoodie in the closet.
It just hit me all of a sudden.
You got the chills? Yeah. Do you have to poop? Okay. Happens to me if I get a chill sometimes. Most of the time. Especially in grocery stores and shorts, but I digress. Number 2! There's a Fortnite scholarship coming to Ohio. This is via Techcrunch. Ashland University in Ohio will embrace the feverishly popular Battle Royale title into its competitive esports program, which it will officially launch this fall. Fortnite will join the team's current competitive title teams, League of Legends, Overwatch, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Rocket League. Took me a long time to figure out that CSGO and Counter-Strike Global Offensive were the same thing because I'm a moron. Interested gamers can hit up this forum to apply to the program. Quote, And this is from Techcrunch, so you get it there. Quote, Fortnite appeals to both the core and casual gaming audience, the school's esports head coach Josh Buchanan said in a release. Quote, we're excited to provide this platform for gamers who want to showcase their skills in a more competitive space. Fortnite facilitates an environment that allows players to get creative, innovative, and show their mastery of their skills. I wish we had the Oxford comma there, Techcrunch, but I digress. Admission in the school's undergraduate program with room and board on the Ashland campus goes for about $31,000 full price, so the $4,000 scholarship offers a nice incentive, but this is probably best for people who have other reasons to go to Ashland University in Ohio as well. How neat that this is happening.
This is fucking awesome.
Right? Just a little neat thing of like, you don't know what's happening. We went to Mizzou and made all these, made 2 Mizzou videos that'll be up somewhat soon. Right, Roger Perconi? Maybe you should edit a bit faster.
Gauntlet thrown.
But no, he's totally on his deadline. I'm just giving him shit. I was blown away to get there and talk to my old professors, like the people who taught me that are still there or whatever, and have them bring up the fact that, Columbia College next door is making a huge deal about esports, and they just had an international. I was like, well, how the fuck do you know about esports? And like, he's like, I don't know what the game is, but I know what they're doing. And it was like, it's awesome to see it actually happening. We always talk about it of like, oh man, esports is so big in other countries and they can fill entire stadiums. I wonder when it'll come to America and if it'll find footing. But in the fact that it's actually happening and now it's starting to break into a way more mainstream world.
Yeah, this is great news. I think that for a game like Fortnite to be in the esports scene and talking about scholarships to play Fortnite so soon after its release is really the interesting part of the story because
Sure.
Scholarships for esports have been happening here in the United States for a couple of years now, which is awesome. But like, dude, Fortnite just crushing it. And like, can you imagine being in high school and finding out that you could get, like when we were in high school and finding out you could get a scholarship to play video games? That was never even a possibility in any of our minds.
Yeah, and that's why it's awesome to see adults in quotes, or like institutions taking it seriously to give people that real option and to see how it could get you a betterment of an education.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good job, Ashland University. I hope everybody follows suit soon. Number 3, Xbox and Discord are having a baby. This comes from Xbox's news site. In response to your feedback, you will now have the option to link your Discord account to your Xbox account, making it easier than ever to see what your friends are playing. If you are playing Sea of Thieves on your Xbox, you can now choose to give your Discord friends the ability to see that and decide whether they want to hop on their Xbox and join you. After following the few simple steps above, your accounts will be linked and your Xbox Live game presence can be shared across Discord, enabling friends and users in your same Discord servers to see what you're playing on Xbox Live. So when I first heard, I was like, Discord is going to be the app on the Xbox that you can now talk through and do all this. It doesn't seem like it's that. No, you can see each other, link them up that way.
The Xbox Party system works really well. I don't know why they would want to replace that.
Just as a layman to how this all works with your Discords and your chats and your kids and your phones.
I love how Discord is on the rise and they're offering so many new features and that they're constantly expanding their scope. And this is a free service for people to use.
Yeah.
It's really great, especially for communities. So like the Kind of Funny Discord, for example.
Go ahead and join our Discord. I think it's kindoffunny.com/Discord.
Discord.gg/kindoffunny.
Is that what it is? Do we have a short
Joey,
link?
is it kind of funny? Is it Kind of Funny games or is it just Kind of Funny?
Joey Noel.
The Discord.
How do we find people on? How do people use the Kind of Funny Discord? I was right. Yeah, kindoffunny.com/Discord.
Yes, I was right too.
Discord.com.
We were both right, Greg.
Yay! Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. No. Don't kill the lights, Kevin. The moment's passed. Don't do it. Yeah, cool. I only use Discord when we were doing Destiny 2 stuff. I joined the Kind of Funny Guardians. I was in their thing a lot. And then every so often I'll pop in, like rarely pop into the Kind of Funny Discord.
Yeah, it's really great for cross-platform since so many games now are offering PC to console cross-platform, because in-game chat is something that still isn't prevalent in a lot of multiplayer games, surprisingly. But when you have a third-party solution like Discord, you don't need it, I guess.
There you go. Andrea. I'm excited to use Discord again to one day play the Destiny expansion number 3 and see if they fix Destiny 2, but it's so far away. If I wanted to know what games came in the Digital Mama Shop drops today, where would I go?
You would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. extending it to check a link that I forgot about. Doesn't play. Perfect. It all worked out fine. Strap in, everybody, and pack a lunch. It's Tuesday, and there's a million games out. First, Battletech on PC, Cluster Tumble on PlayStation 4, Code 51 Mecha Arena on PlayStation VR, Cosmic Star Heroine finally comes to the PlayStation Vita, hashtag Vita lives, Dead Secret is on PlayStation VR, that Detroit Become Human demo is out on PlayStation 4, Devious Dungeon is on PlayStation 4 and Vita, Aaliyah is on Early Access on PC, Emily Wants to Play 2 is on PlayStation 4, Firefighters Airport Fire Department is on Switch, Firefighters The Simulation is on Switch, Frostpunk is on Windows PC, Galgun 2 is on PlayStation 4 and Switch, Hello Kitty Cruisers is on Switch,
I gotta look that
Jolt
up.
Family Robot Racer is on PlayStation 4, Just in Time Incorporated is on PlayStation VR, Pick a Pix Color is on PlayStation 4 and Vita, and I want to give the developer of Pick a Pix Color a shout out because I made a comment. I was bitching about Slide not being out and it being an easy platinum. Somebody responds, hey, Pick a Pix Color's coming and it's going to be an easy platinum, to which the developer responds, not really. I mean, if you're really good at puzzle games, maybe, but it's not that easy. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. South Park, The Fractured Butthole is on Switch. Subaria is on is what I'm going to say, is on Xbox One. The Invisible Hours is on Xbox One. The Swords of Ditto is on PlayStation 4 and PC. Marvel's Avengers Infinity War character and level pack DLC is out for Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 is DLC. Full disclosure, lots of kind of funny people are in that game as voices. To Leave is on PlayStation 4. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Desert Map Miramar is coming to Xbox One test servers tomorrow. Well, it's actually today, April 24th. The PUBG Miramar is expected to drop on the console in May, and the test schedule is detailed up until April 29th. So all being well, we might see the map in the full game next month. I must have stolen that from somebody. I forget who, though, and I apologize for not crediting you. Nintendo's dropping some fresh and free new content for Splatoon 2 on Nintendo Switch tonight. After downloading a new major update, version 3.0, to the Splatoon 2 game at 6 p.m. Pacific, players will have access to a huge amount of new content. This includes the addition of more than 100 pieces of new and returning gear, new songs, the introduction of a challenging new X rank for the top performing players in ranked battle, weapon balance adjustments, and the return of Callie, the famous Squid Sisters. Was a big one.
It was.
Good job. You put that together too. Thank you. You were all over this thing today while I was working.
Hey, you know what? We're a team, Miller.
We are. That's what I like to hear. Kevin could learn a thing or two about it. Just kidding. He keeps everything going. We love you, Kevin. New dates for you. H1Z1 is coming to PlayStation 4 with a new Battle Royale mode on May 22nd. This will be open beta. That's finally happening. That got announced forever ago. Congratulations. Right. I'm glad that's going. And then Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is coming to Switch June 29th. That's right. The day before Kinda Funny Prom. Something for you to play in San Francisco while you get ready for Kinda Funny Prom. KindaFunny.com/tickets. But right now, Daydream writes into KindaFunny.com/KFGD with a question. It was announced today that Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, will be released for Nintendo Switch in June. I've been getting into my Switch more and more lately and have not yet played Wolfenstein 2. Do you think the Switch will do it justice, or would it be wiser to play it on Xbox One or PlayStation 4?
Absolutely play it on Xbox One or PlayStation 4.
Have you played it on Switch yet?
I have. I played
too.
it on Switch at PAX East.
Yeah. It runs fine. It doesn't have the graphical fidelity, and it's a beautiful game. It doesn't have that pop that the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One does.
The thing that I found the most frustrated about my time with Wolfenstein on Switch was in handheld mode in particular. The open scenes where you have to take out multiple enemies, it's hard to see in such a small screen. And the resolution and the frame rate is still not locked. When I asked them in Boston, they were like, we're not talking about what the locked frame rate's going to be. We're not talking about what the locked resolution's going to be. We're going to have answers for that closer to launch.
Gotcha.
And that to me is concerning.
Yeah.
And because Doom obviously suffered from those problems on the Switch.
Sure.
Did it break the experience? No. Was it the best experience?
No.
No.
Yeah, I like Doom on Switch, but it was the same thing of like, okay, cool, I'll put it over here, and like I never got deep into it on the PlayStation, and that's the same thing with Wolfenstein 2 to an extent. I got way deeper, I think, with Wolfenstein 2.
It's just such a beautifully animated game that I think if you own an Xbox One or a PS4 or a PC, that you should do yourselves the favor of playing it on one of those other platforms to see it in all of its high fidelity glory.
Okay. Meanwhile, Xbox One X console exclusive, whatever the hell they put in front of it on that Tacoma is coming to PlayStation 4 on May 8th. And you bet your fucking ass, if it doesn't have a platinum, I'm driving myself and Kevin up to Portland and we are whipping Steve Gaynor just without mercy. This son of a bitch.
You're going to see him soon, aren't you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Developer Rebellion has dated embargoes or whatever, unannounced things.
Exactly.
Developer Rebellion has dated 1 to 4 player co-op action title Strange Brigade with an August 29th release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Goner is coming to PlayStation 4 on May 15th, and then Shining Residence Refrain comes to PlayStation 4 July 10th.
Goner is a really cute game.
What is it? I don't know.
It's like a side-scrolling puzzle platformer thing.
Okay. I still want to play that minute game.
I'm not describing it accurately. Hold on.
Game. Haven't done that.
Yeah, Jared turned me on to that. I
Yeah.
never thought I was going to want to play that, but
You haven't played it yet, though?
no.
I could have sworn it was a Switch game, and then it turns out it's not. And that's one of my breaking points where I'm just like, oh, this seems like a good-looking Switch game. But on PlayStation 4, I got a God of War Platinum to get, you know?
Roguelike. Raw Fury game.
Okay.
Originally published for PC.
Is it a bunny? Are you a bunny in this one? Am I thinking right? Does the character look like a bunny? Any kind of bunny look to it, or is it no bunny look? Bunny? Rabbit? Bunny?
Bunny.
Bunny? It wouldn't be this hard as I'm incorrect about there being any kind of bunny to this.
I don't think so.
Well, you know what I'm not incorrect about, though? Deals of the day. Strap in, we got more of these, too. From the PlayStation blog, Capcom and Sega have teamed up to bring you a bunch of PlayStation games in the humble Capcom Cross Sega bundle in the North American PSN regions, with a wide variety of titles, including survival horror, action or arcade action, high-speed platforming, and a beloved tactical RPG. There's plenty to play no matter what tier you spring for. The bundle runs now through May 8th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So head over to the Humble Bundle page for more information and to pick up a bundle for yourself. Meanwhile, GameSpot says between now and April 29th, Target is selling the 1 terabyte PlayStation 4 Pro for $320. That's a savings of $80. Here's what you have to do to get it, because it's complicated. First, download the Target Cartwheel app and add the 20% off PlayStation 4 Pro hardware coupon. Then go back to a brick and mortar Target store that has the console in stock and present the coupon when you check out. That's it. The deal is not available online, nor is it valid with any other PlayStation 4 Pro bundle. If you have a Target Red card, you get an additional 5% off the discounted price, but even without that, it's a killer deal for a powerful piece of hardware that normally costs $400.
That's an extra like $15 off.
Yeah, not a bad deal. I thought, and it's not that complicated. I just don't like going to stores. They made it seem more complicated when I was copying and pasting, but it's not that bad.
We went to Target last night looking for Labo stuff.
Labo!
And all of the regular kits were sold out. They only had the robot kits.
Yeah, still I want to get the piano one day. I want to play the piano. You see Brian Altano's video?
No.
You got to go to his Twitter. He did a thing where that first weekend with it, he made a beat with Labo, or he made music with Labo, and then made it into a song and did beats and all this shit too. It's amazing. He's too talented, and he's too thin now. Too successful.
I know. Every time I see him, I'm like, "Can I get you a milkshake? Would you like a cheeseburger or 2
And then
cheeseburgers?"
the final deal of the day comes from none other than Kinda Funny's own Joey Noel, who points out Persona 5 is 55% off for PlayStation Plus users on that there PSN. Go play it. Did she ever beat it? Did she still stall out on that, Kevin? You got an update?
She beat it.
She did beat it.
Yeah.
Her and Gary Whitta better get to work on this spoiler cast. Oh, Gary Whitta didn't beat it, though. Gary Whitta's never going to beat it. He's all talk.
He is all talk.
Thank you.
He never went back and played Horizon.
No, he's doing it now. He got a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Okay.
So now he's doing that.
Because I heard him talking about going to play God of War, and I was like,
Well,
so
that's
help
the
me
thing.
God, Gary.
I don't know. Yeah, I got him a God of War like he asked for. And then, I turned on the thing to play God of War, and it's everybody's playing God of War, and then Gary Whitta playing Horizon. I'm like,
Good. No,
you
he's
could have
doing
waited.
it. He's doing it the right way. He should finish Horizon first.
I don't think he will. Gary Whitta, unfinished business. That's going to be his next book. Time for reader mail, but first I'm going to tell it to you. Reader mail! But first, I'm going to tell you it's brought to you by Marvel Puzzle Quest. Marvel Puzzle Quest, of course, is proof that God loves you, because Puzzle Quest is not dead, as I thought it was. Hey, everybody, it's me, Greg Miller, not reading from any paper, just talking to you about my love for a game called Puzzle Quest. It was on PSP and a bunch of other platforms, too, but PSP is where it was awesome, and now, guess what? We thought it went away. It didn't go away. Andrea pointed out that they've known about Marvel Puzzle Quest for a while, but I ignored it. Don't be like Greg. unignore Marvel Puzzle Quest. You can play Puzzle Quest with Marvel heroes. In Marvel Puzzle Quest, you can create a custom team from the Marvel Universe that features characters like Iron Man, Black Panther, Deadpool, Rogue, Gambit, Black Widow, Jessica Jones, and more. There are more than 150 superheroes and villains packed into this game. Once you have your team set, you can join your friends or other Marvel enthusiasts by being part of Alliance and compete against others on leaderboards in weekly tournaments that reward you and your alliance. Marvel's only Match 3 puzzle RPG experience is available on your mobile device, and it's free. Like I said, more than 150 characters. You do the tournaments, you play all these things. They're doing Infinity War stuff right now. There's all sorts of going on. The special offer for new players is a free 3-star Thanos for Marvel Puzzle Quest if you join right now. The link is in the description, but we also made a short one, kindafunny.com/Marvel Puzzle Quest. You go, now I know it's a free app, so like you want the Thanos, do that. Go through these things to get the Thanos, and you get Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet. I assume he has. Are you excited? You're not even seeing Infinity War, right? You didn't even buy tickets in advance.
Well, because I'm traveling the day it comes out, and so I didn't know which city I would be in, and so that's why I didn't buy tickets.
You're going to LA, right?
Yes, so I will be in Los Angeles now when it's released, so that's why I didn't prepare in advance.
That's connected to Tara Bruno. Yes. She was very upset when I said I wouldn't come. She's like, you told me you'd come, and I was like, well, now they moved Infinity War, and you took too long to tell me dates. I got to be there to see what happens.
It's okay. Whatever I see in Los Angeles, I will report back right here on Kind of Funny Games Daily.
I'm telling you what, I got to know what this California raisin's going to do to the universe. Up next, we're also brought to you by MeUndies. And again, I don't need to look at the papers. I just need to reach in here. Kevin, look at me. Kevin, look. I'm wearing these MeUndies today. Smiley faces. Yellow smiley faces. It is fun. MeUndies, of course, are the softest underwear I, Greg Miller, have ever worn. That's why I threw out all my other underwear and bought a bunch of MeUndies and continue to buy them when I wear out of the MeUndies. They're super soft. They got fabric and stuff on them. They want me to say that. They used to not want me to. They always put in the thing about micromodial, and I'm like, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to do that.
The fancy fabric. I was wearing my MeUndies yesterday, and they were so comfortable. I thought about wearing them 2 days in a row, but I didn't because you shouldn't do that.
You can do what you want. Yeah, do what I did and just buy more and throw the rest out. You know what I mean?
I know. I haven't bought underwear in a while.
This is your time because they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They guarantee you love your undies or your money back. They have an exclusive offer for you, my listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you purchase any MeUndies, you get 20% off and free shipping. You still get the satisfaction guarantee. It's great. So this is a no-brainer. Get 20% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. To get your 20% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/GamesDaily. That's MeUndies.com/GamesDaily. Now, I know what you're thinking, Andrea. Oh, shucks, you already have a pair, so you're not a first-time customer.
Correct.
You got multiple emails. You've all got multiple emails. You know what I mean?
I'll make John buy them.
Just there you go. That's another one. He's got a bunch. You could get a lot of 20% off just doing this, Kev. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trick the system. Get your underwear and help us. It's easy. Where do I want to go with you right now, Andrea Renee? Here. Let's pick up the conversation we were having yesterday about early reviews on IGN. Jamal writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, hey guys, yesterday Andrea and Greg talked about IGN's early access review of Radical Heights, and this made me think of a weird paradox that's being created with giving it a review score. I agree with Andrea that scoring it doesn't make sense. This made me think of something that was often talked about by Colin, that how some readers would think in the process of making reviews for a game, the game would start at a 10 and then points would be subtracted for its negative qualities. We know that this is not how reviews work. My question is, how do you give and adjust a score fairly for an early access game that will only improve over time? It seems like you would have to theoretically just keep raising the score the more bugs and gameplay improvements you make. If you don't, then it seems unfair to rate it the same as when it was buggier. But if you do change the score, isn't it just a weird race until it's given a 10 out of 10? Let me know if this paradox makes sense or if I'm overthinking the whole thing.
The easy answer here is, how do you do this? You don't. You don't score early access games.
Don't score incomplete games.
Done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, your paradox is real because I think what the internet loves to do is pin people down to, and any reviewer, any person, pin people down to what they say. And then, well, if I am like, yeah, it crashed 3 out of 4 times when I tried to launch this thing, and then they fix that and I launch that thing, does that mean that it goes up a point? Does it mean that it does this? I think the way you would have to do this if you were doing it, which IGN is, but I'm not Dan Stapleton, I'm not the reviews editor, would be the idea that, cool, you're not going in now to give a progress report checklist of what's happening. You're going in whatever time however much, 6 months later, and you're basically giving it a new review of playing it, and you can reference, before when I played it, it was this had happened and that had happened, but now this is where it is. But now that we're here are the pros and cons of where we're at. And I don't think it is. I never reviewed a game thinking everything starts at a 10 and we go from there. I play a game and then come away with what I think of it.
Right. I think in order to do it fairly, you would need to wait for it to change form. So from early access to open beta, and then from open beta into like V1. And then you probably really want to just get somebody different.
Yeah,
to get a different perspective, so that they're not building off of their previous notions of what the game was in its earlier form. Get somebody maybe who hasn't played it yet, and then have them review it from like a fresh perspective.
And again, this is where it gets interesting with the early access review versus an IGN review in progress. Because a review in progress always ends right. If I had to rate it now, this is what I would give it, but it's not what I'm giving it. That's how IGN, and correct me if I'm wrong and you're wrong if they change that again, but the most recent ones I've seen of full-fledged, we've launched a multiplayer game, now we're reviewing it as we go, that score changes and does little variants of it in terms of like, all right, today this is what I'm feeling, and when I finally rate the score, I'll rate it. That is different in the way of, I don't think on day one you're necessarily gonna say, oh man, like, of course things are crashing or whatever, this isn't working, but you're already getting a feel for what the game's going to play, and then you understand how the mechanics of it work, the systems of it work, more than the performance-based stuff, which I assume is what, and I haven't read it or looked at it, what Radical Heights is getting dinged for, is that it's early access and janky and things aren't exactly where they want them to be. But I digress. Reviews. As Andrea says, don't do them. Andrea just says don't do anything, break the system. She says hack the planet. Brendan writes in with a question that's keeping me awake at night, everybody. Greg, I need you to put on your trophy consulting hat for this one. Brendan, I never take it off, motherfucker. Paint me a picture of the ideal trophy list for Detroit Become Human. How many playthroughs are we talking? Is the ideal platinum a participation award like Telltale Games, or do we need to put a little elbow grease into it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'm sorry, Andrea, that you have to put up with our trophy nonsense. Much love, Brendan from California. I'll keep it short, Brendan. I think Heavy Rain had a near perfect trophy list for what it was. Heavy Rain required elbow grease for sure, required save states, starting and then making different choices, but that was great for that game. Where I did a playthrough on my own. Of course, Greg, there was a very specific part you had to save at and have different saves from. Don't worry. I had reached out to the developers at the time, the PR person at the time, who's long gone now. They had given me the trophy list ahead of time. I'd made all these annotations on what to do and where to save and what to do.
So you cheated?
No. I made sure I knew where to do it so I didn't fuck myself over in the end. And I went through and did my playthrough and had a great time. And then I went back and really got in there and made all the different choices to spiderweb out and see how it goes. My concern with Detroit is I don't want it to be so spiderwebby out that it's going to be 140 hours to get through and actually get the platinum on this.
So as a trophy enthusiast,
yeah, how you doing?
Do you think it's a good thing that developers make it so that you have to look at the trophy list ahead of time in order to be able to successfully complete the trophy list? It feels like that defeats the purpose.
Well, yes and no. I like the fact that for some of us, God of War, we use an example and no spoilers, that for some of us, God of War for me was a game I was going to sit down and play on normal, and whatever happened, right? We might have a question in here. No. We had a lot of these things about trophies in God of War, but it was I'm gonna sit down and play it, and I'm gonna go through, and this is what my experience is gonna be. And if it turns out that there is a super difficult trophy, like to play it on super difficulty, to do a new game plus on that, I had already said to myself, I'm not gonna get it. Like I just won't get the platinum. Like because I know myself, and no matter how much I love God of War, knowing that it was like what they were saying, it was like a 15-20 hour mainline story, let alone 30 or so on and so forth as it adds. I knew there was no way in the world I'd have more time to go through and replay it again on that way. And so I was like, okay, cool. Play through the game, beat the game, at which point then I start looking at the trophies with a real eye and see, oh man, no, this is all stuff I can still get. That is the way I think it should be done. That's the way I think most players should be playing games. However, we live in a time where it used to be, I really want to read the IGN review and the GameSpot review and this, that, and the other. Now we have content creators and personalities where it is, hey, I can say, I don't number my reviews. I just say, hey, I think God of War is a masterpiece and amazing. And as many people who want to know about, hey, what is God of War like? They know that I'm the trophy guy, and I still get that question as well of like, hey, no spoilers. I'm like, one playthrough, don't worry about the difficulty. And everybody's like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's enough people out there that you don't have to expose yourself to it anymore. It does, of course, suck when you see the trophies pop on Exophase and you're like, ooh, I want to know, but I don't want like that. For me with Detroit, I think knock on wood's trophy list will be ambiguous enough. And from what Andy was saying was he was popping trophies between every scene. So I'm assuming and hoping there's the A or B outcome for every one of these. And I know as you get deeper in, there's going to be the C, D, F, you know what I mean? It'll keep on going like that where a lot of different scenes can end different ways. But I don't want it to be a participation award. I don't find that super rewarding in Telltale games. But in the same breath, I also am happy I don't have to completely replay a Telltale game to go through and get the platinum. Like the choices in Telltale are usually so binary, and I still haven't beaten Batman season 2, and I know that that's a bit different from what everybody's been saying.
It's interesting hearing you talk about this, knowing that you will play games like Slide just because they're an easy trophy, but then you don't like it when it's a participation trophy. It's kind of
15 seconds. Well, it's because Slide knows what it is.
Right.
Slide is a whore on the street corner. Come by and toss 50 cents at him and see his bits. That's what Slide is, all right? Hey, I'm just saying what's happening over here, all right?
But that's just one example. You talk about easy platinums on this show quite frequently.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's just a different thing where I think, and this has changed with me as I've gotten older and the more I play and like what I feel and how much trophies matter or don't matter, yada, yada, yada. But like, the Telltale thing is just an afterthought, right? Life is Strange Platinum is just an afterthought. It's cool that I'm getting a platinum for it, but that's not what motivates me to play these games. I'm motivated to play those games because I really want to see the story and the narrative through. And in Detroit Become Human, I imagine that's going to be the exact same thing. You know, what I've seen does really interest me. But that game, if it's like Heavy Rain, which from what Andy says it is, if not more complicated, I loved in Heavy Rain doing my story. And then, I know there was like, I don't even remember anymore. There was like 24 something, maybe 30 different cutscenes that could end that game that would and it was the thing of like, fuck, I want to get all of these, and I love that I'm being rewarded for that hard work with the trophy for it. Whereas I guess that's the thing. Detroit and, I guess Heavy Rain and what I think of Detroit will be are a hard work platinum. That's a platinum you're proud to have. There was a bunch of different things to go. Whereas, it's cool to have 65 platinums or whatever, but I don't brag that I got like, man, I got the Life is Strange platinum. That was fucking awesome. I talk about Life is Strange and how much I fucking love that game and how great, Before the Storm was so amazing, but it's not the same thing. It makes sense now, right? The stupid thing that I care about that you have no interest in.
It's crystal clear.
Oh, this was it. It was right there. Caleb G was leading in with talking about difficulties for trophies with like the evil within. So we kind of got around there. Sorry. Thank you. We're almost there. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, here we go. Elza writes in with the final question of the day and says, "Hey, Greg and Andrew. Do you think the pre-release hype train for highly anticipated games like God of War can negatively affect a game's reception once it finally releases? I'm 8 or so hours into God of War, and while I'm very much enjoying the game, I don't feel like much has happened narratively or that I'm playing one of the best games of all time. The game is fantastic, but I feel like the hyperbole leading up to the game's release set my expectations way too high. Thoughts? Thanks for everyone you do, but I think Elza means everything you do. Because I only do one person. Elza. 100%. That is always my fear when we play a game and we love a game and review a game. Whether it be Uncharted 3 that I gave a 10 and I think is a masterpiece game, that sets people's expectations, especially in terms of being IGN readers of, wow, IGN gave Uncharted 2 a 9.5 and they just gave Uncharted 3 a 10. This game is going to, what the fuck? This isn't nearly, like, you know what I mean? And that was my concern with God of War, especially when I came out of the preview event and I was like, the first boss fight is the best superhero fight in a game. I said it and I believe it, but I was totally prepared for the cracking whip and backlash of you're fucking crazy. And like, thank God, Elza is one of the few people who's popped up that I've seen and been like, I'm not feeling this game. Like everybody else has been like, holy shit, that fight was what you said it was. Holy shit, this game is amazing. You made it out to be. But for me as a commentator, as a critic, whatever you want to say, like it's always my fear is that I'm going to ruin it. Because it's happened to me with so many other mediums even.
I don't think your commentary is going to ruin the experience that for somebody, because if they come in with expectations that are high for a game that is being scored well, it's just possible that game is just never going to jive with them, whether it got good review scores or didn't. You know, I look at the way that I felt about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, widely reviewed as a 10, as a 9, and very high scores really across the board.
Game of the year all over the place.
Yeah, one of the highest Metacritic games of all time. but it just wasn't a game that was a game of the year for me.
Sure.
Doesn't mean it was a bad game. It just meant that like I didn't think of it as a 10 because it didn't speak to me that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's disappointing that, Elza doesn't see God of War the way that we do, but I don't think that our review scores had anything to do with that. I think it's just it either connects with you as a player or it doesn't.
Sure. I hear you. And that's 100% true. And I think that does get lost. It just gets lost when it is everybody saying how amazing it is. And even when you get to the critic pool and the Metacritic where really there aren't that. Usually there's deviations. And sometimes they're drastic. Sometimes they're much smaller. But this one, everybody seems to be right around the same.
There are a couple deviations.
Those people are wrong and stupid.
I went through Metacritic trying to see who was dragging the average down.
Who was it?
I don't want to name names. You can go look them up if you'd like. But
Kevin, make the list. We're going to go out driving tonight.
I saw an 80 on there and I was like, 80?
Yeah, out of 80 though, right?
I'm like, who are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD. You give me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in a video game. I read it here. The best friends come and find you. Everybody plays together and has a great time. Today, and I'm so fucking sorry, dark_emo_slayer- needs help on PlayStation 4. Parentheses, Angry Greg voice. God damn it, Shuhei, let me change my name. End of Angry Greg. Back to the topic at hand. I'd like to find a best friend willing to help me with Helldivers. I know, older game and not too popular. It should have been way more popular. It's a great game. Just kept eating my save, which is why I had to stop playing it. But if there are any best friends willing to help me, I'd appreciate it a ton. My PSN name is dark_emo_slayer-. Please let the rumors be true and let me change my name so I can stop being the dark and emo trying to slay everyone. Thanks, Greg, and Kinda Funny for all you do, Dark Emo Slayer. Of course, that PSN name's in the description of this YouTube video, or if you're an audio listener and don't want to go give us the YouTube view, you can just go back and rewind. Use that 10-second thing to skip backwards, skip forward, see what's happening. It's in the description of that too? Kevin, you do great work. The glue, I'm telling you, everybody. Andrea. We ask everybody watching this show live to go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up in a segment we call You're Wrong. What did we get wrong today?
The first thing is from Mr. Pritchett. Mr. Pritchett says the copyright on kindafunny.com is wrong. It says 2017, but it should say 2015 through 2018. This is the correct way to report copyrighted material.
Fuck the man. You know, that's what we like to say. They're going to come for us with our copyrights. We'll come for them with our Kevin.
Xanther Sarah says Anna Bray is not a new character. She has been in the lore since Destiny 1, but this is the first time we are seeing her. Thank you. Misanthrope says the US PlayStation Store has Destiny 2's Warmind DLC listed at $19.99. Oh, that's interesting because I looked it up on the PlayStation Store and it's at $24.99.
The PlayStation Store not acting correctly. Bizarre.
Another person, Mr. Greedo, also wrote in about it saying $19.99. I'll have to check this link that I have. That's weird. Gunplug Gamer says, well, at least we can say Bungie is great for the environment with all of this recycling.
Dun, 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 dun.
Happy that my favorite gun, the Gravity Lance, has the potential to do a mini Nova bomb with its new update. That does look really cool. And also we'll be playing the story. Okay, cool. Good.
You're wrong, not for editorializing, just telling us what we got wrong. Kindafunny.com/KFGD for your editorializing and questions.
Lord of Pone says Datto and other Destiny content creators had to sign an NDA, but he hopes Bungie would eventually talk about some of their answers.
Huh, okay. Good to know. Thank you. I sign NDAs, but then we do like prediction episodes where I can get around it. It'd be like, I don't know. I heard they're canceling Spider-Man.
Yeah. JPS Collins says, small you're wrong is Destiny has very little interference from Activision, just like other developers in Activision. Blizzard is not trying to editorialize, but there's more insulation between Bungie and Infinity War mindsets. So like, here's the thing. I wasn't saying that Activision was interfering. I was saying Activision has money and Activision can give them money to let them do their creative vision the way they want to.
Cheer.
Another person talking about Datto with his NDA. With his quote that he could be sued for literally $5 million if he revealed these answers. I've never seen a dollar amount placed in an NDA that I've signed before. Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I've
Dang,
definitely
we
seen
should keep track of those. That'd be fun.
And we should just do, you know what? We're going to do it and make a big deal. Like, we're going to, on Patreon, if we hit $5 million today, I'll tell you this information.
I would sign up for that. All right, Chris Tiddlywinks.
We got to do it as like an inside job, though, where it's like, we have like James Stevenson draft something from Insomniac for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so like, $5 million, we hit $5 million and we open the envelope and it's just like something totally stupid that nobody cares. And then we split the money with him and then it's like fucking great. We get in yachts and we just drive away. Yes, the yachts aren't, I know, they're not in the water. They're on cars. It doesn't matter. We're rich now. It doesn't matter.
Chris, your thing about is not a correction. Greg says the mom and shop drops differently almost every day.
It's true.
This is another pricing thing with the expansions.
Okay.
Oh, he says Havoc Maker though does say that during the Activision's earnings call in February, they confirmed a major expansion later this year.
Oh, okay.
I'd imagine it'll be in September and $40.
Okay.
I'm sure it will be revealed at E3.
What if it's a crossover with Star Wars,
What? Why would that? What?
That's what kids want. They like Star Wars.
In Destiny?
Why not? You're in space.
No.
Mass Effect.
Don't cross the cannons.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Havoc Maker again. Something I think worth mentioning. Today, Albert Pinello, who we talked about yesterday, announced after 18 years he's leaving Microsoft. No. His statement on Twitter, well, today is a crazy day. I've made the decision after 18 years to leave Microsoft. To say it's been a once-in-a-lifetime experience is an understatement. The team at Xbox has meant so much to me, and I'll be cheering them on. There is so much great stuff still to come. Are you giving me a watch? What? You don't have anything, Nick?
Nick's just being a dick. Don't
Do
listen.
you have something you're shooting on stage after we're done here?
I don't know. I have to check the schedule.
Yeah, Tim's doing thank you videos. Don't worry.
Man.
Nick's just trying to get in your head.
I'm going to lunch, literally. I was just
Are you buying me lunch too?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Good, but you always have something to do.
It's true. I'm the busiest lady in the business.
That's what we call her.
You got 5 things to do. You can't come to lunch.
I have Christine Steimer and Brittany Brombacher waiting at my house to go shoot stuff.
They're locked out right now.
Well, they're inside. They're probably watching. Hi, girls.
Took 2 hours and went to Olive Garden.
Oh, tempting.
No, Tim has things to do this afternoon. I know that for a fact.
Your hair's looking great.
Thank you. That all makes sense.
All right, let me go back to Albert Pinello's statement.
Friend of the show.
The team at Xbox has meant so much to me, and I'll be cheering them on. There is so much great stuff still to come. I want to say thank you to all the fans and followers for the support and encouragement and great feedback over the years. It's been awesome meeting and talking with so many of you. The fans are the energy that keeps the teams going, so keep it up. And then Havoc Maker says, I've always loved the interview he did with KF in November. He's such a passionate and genuine man, and Microsoft won't be the same without him.
True
Go
words.
send him some hashtag sweet nasty love.
Yep, do it.
And then there was 2 more. Oh, so XY, is this Zyger? Is that you? It just says XY. Comes in with the clarification. $19.99 is the PlayStation Plus price. If you are not PlayStation Plus, it is $24.99. Thank you for that clarification. And then Campos63 says the DLC was $34.99. No, I said the expansion pass. So that includes both of the DLC packs. I made that clarification. I told you not to you're wrong me on that.
Don't worry. Don't take your anger out on them with the Destiny stuff, all right? It's going to be okay.
Right.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, head over to kindafunny.com/KFGD, where you can post your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, and everything else under the video game sun. Then watch us live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and listen on podcast services around the globe, including Spotify. Remember, Kinda Funny's God of War spoiler cast is already up on the podcast feeds for Gamescast. It's already uploaded and processing right now to youtube.com/kindafunnygames, so that'll be live momentarily.
And since I won't be back later this week, on Friday, the What's Good Games God of War spoiler cast also publishes.
Very good.
We sadly were not able to get Corey on, scheduling conflicts, but
it's
going to be good.
And it gets real at times. Talking about his wife and kids. Real, right?
I bet.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's sad, yeah. If you didn't know, wait, what? It's been our pleasure to serve you.